Alright, today on the roast, I'm out here at the Oxon Hill Banquet. Got none other than Discombobulating. Joe, what's good?
Oh man, it's all good because it's all God, my brother.
Man, let's get right into it, man. How did you get involved with the sport of boxing?
Circuitous route. I tried a whole lot of other things and failed miserably. Tried to be an actor, tried to be a comedian. Got hit with eggs on stage one night, and that's when I realized the yoke was on me. You understand? Yoke. No, they didn't get it either. So I knew I could do something. So I went to the DC Boxing Commission in 1988. And the commissioner at the time, may rest in peace now, Mr. Gilbert, where he said, well, we don't have any TV contracts for you to be a color commentator like you want to, but if you want to be on the mic, sound like you articulate enough that you could be the ring announcer. I said, I wasn't thinking about that. He said, why not? I said, I don't know. And he gave me something for life. Thank you, Jesus. He said, there have never been any black ring announcers of prominence in the entire history of boxing. Epiphany moment, the light bulb went off. I said, wow. He said, have you ever seen a black ring announcer? I said, no. He said, somebody got to be the first one, so why don't you take the challenge? It was 32 years ago. I've been going strong ever since, thank God.
You know, it's interesting that you said that because that was actually going to be my next question.
Okay.
With the major fights that you see on the different platforms and networks, with the World Championship fights, what, in your opinion, you don't see African-American ring announcer?
You want the unadulterated truth?
Most certainly.
I've been living it for 32 years, and they have never wanted an African-American holding this microphone for some reason. This is powerful. Go all the way around the world. Now, my mentor became Michael Buffer, Let's Get Ready to Rumble guy. And he had me on stage at Madison Square Garden, Radio City Music Hall, Atlantic City, all these places. He asked me a question at RFK Stadium one night in D.C. when Roy Jones fought Bernard Hopkins. Riddick Bowe was the main event against Jesse Ferguson. He said, you certainly have the talent. He said, but why won't your brothers, Don King and Rock Newman, help you? And in that moment, that let me know it wasn't about color. It was about a man's character. Because they could have snapped their fingers and had me on that level like him, but chose not to. Now, if you don't help me, okay, I can accept that, but don't do things to hurt me, to keep me from getting to that point. Don King told me, he said, I'm never gonna use you. I said, why? He said, because I made a deathbed promise to Jimmy Lennon Jr.'s father that I would only use him. And over the years, I've seen him kick Buffer to the curb for Jimmy Lennon Jr., so I gotta respect that. But others, you know who apologized to me before he passed? Butch Lewis. You know that name, Butch Lewis?
Yeah, I know Butch Lewis.
He had a fight card at the Apollo in Harlem one night. He had Ed Darian from Philadelphia as his ring announcer. I couldn't get in contact with him before the fight, but afterwards, he returned my call. He said, what's up, Jones? I said, well, what's up is, I should have been the ring announcer at the world famous Apollo, don't you think? And he said, man, I am so sorry. He said, exactly, you should have been. He said, I wasn't even thinking about it. I left that up to other people. He said, but going forward, he said, I got you. Well, he passed, but he was going to fulfill that promise. So, and his demise, rest in peace, Butch Lewis. That was a brother that was going to help me. Now, I've tried over the years, you know, to get on with TMZ with Floyd. I've spoken to Floyd. Floyd said he wanted to bring me on board, but it hasn't happened so far. So hopefully we can revisit that as well.
Yeah, that was one of my next questions. Do you think in the near future you will see people that look like us doing that?
Well, it won't happen by happenstance out of the blue. I actually have a proposal for a reality show called Finding My Successor. And the premise is I'll be going around the country to cities that I announce in anyway, having open auditions for ring announcers. So hopefully you will see somebody succeeding because I don't have 32 more years. Let's just face it. So these are my golden years, and hopefully somebody else with vision on that level will see it profits them to bring me on board because I sell tickets, I get sponsorships. So in essence, I'm paying you to allow me to announce. What's the downside? You
know, besides being a ring announcer, as far as dealing with the sport of boxing outside of the boxers themselves, I don't see us in the roles of being referees also as well.
Yeah, that is an area that they're looking at.
Well, I'm sorry, the judges.
The judges. I know what you're referring to. That's an area that we're looking at as well to have all-inclusive. You know, and females as well. They're underrepresented, and there are a lot of qualified females out here as promoters also. Matter of fact, I'm going down to Rock Hill, South Carolina on the 20th of this month for a promoter named Lavonda Early. She has Vegas Grand Boxing. So I'm not only going to be a ring announcer, I'll be her advisor going forward to help her build her product and her brand too. So shout out to Vegas Grand Boxing promoter Lavonda Early Stacy.
You know, how hard is it to break into other avenues in the boxing world, in your opinion?
That was very hard. You know, it's a good old boy network. Let's, you know, not mince about this. You know, it's been Bob Arum, it's been Oscar De La Hoya, Eddie Hearn now. And they don't want to play with Al Heyman, you know. Don King is trying to make one last hurrah, you know, coming back on the scene. But for the majority, for the last 40, 50 years even, there's nobody of prominence that looked like us that was really controlling things except for Don King. So hopefully now things have changed around the world, as you see. You know, and I'm a firm believer, like my mother said before she passed, the last shall be first and the first last. So it's first time for me. So I'm walking into my promise that God has promised me.
Yeah, because like you said, we have to get more representation for us, even dealing with the sanctioning bodies, that we don't own anything as far as when it comes to the sanctioning bodies and the belts, that you have the talent and the fighters. Why not start your own league? Exactly right. You know, you have to have vision though. You have to have faith about it. And you know, you have to collaborate with people that you may not necessarily like. So what? It's business at the end of the day. You know, so I was taught to respect everybody first of all. But you can't piss on me and tell me it's raining. That's where I draw the line. So maybe I haven't gotten as far in life as a ring announcer as I thought I was, because I don't let people mistreat me. Man, I truly appreciate your time, just to give an insight on what goes on with the sport of boxing. Absolutely. We're ready to do it, so let's step to it. Hire Discombobulating Jones. You won't be disappointed. All right, on the ropes. We out.